the sport, and a lot of it with his Scotty Cameron putter. And just before Tiger tied Sam Snead with his 82nd victory last fall in Japan, Todd Lewis did a deep dive on one of the most famous and lethal clubs ever utilized by any player.
For most of his professional career, Tiger Woods has relied on one club more than any other. A Scotty Cameron Newport 2 putter.
I know the release point, and I know how it swings, because I've hit hundreds of millions of putts with that damn thing.
How many people have got a worn-out sweet spot in the middle of their putter?
Crazy with that putt. It is over.
Yes.
It's a trust. It's like finding your wife, that special relationship that you can almost read each other's minds.
With it in his hands, Woods has won 14 of his 15 major championships, 65 of his 81 PGA Tour events, and more than $100 million.
My goodness gracious, what other golf club has achieved half as much as that particular putter has?
Sport club.
What has happened with that putter, it changed the sport forever.
Okay, so how much is it worth?
Wow, that's a great question. It's,
I mean, it's got to be arguably the most valuable golf club in the history of the game.
it's going to be high, very high.
I'm going to say minimum $5 million.
You'd start the bidding at 10 million and expect to go up very, very quickly.
I'd say 20 million.
If I was to throw a number, 50 million.
I think you could offer him $100 million for it and he probably wouldn't take it. So I guess more than 100 million.
To put a price on it, he'd be the one to ask.
The story of Woods' relationship with his current putter begins with the end of his relationship with his old putter. In 1997, he famously won the Masters by a record 12 shots, using a Scotty Cameron Trillium putter. But Woods ranked outside the top 100 in putts per round that season. And by the summer of '98, he had abandoned the putter altogether.
In 1998, for about 2 months, he putted with my backup putter, Ping Answer 2, on the tour. He putted with it at the British Open.
What a charge by Woods!
And then he lost by a shot to me. And that's when we flew back on the plane. I declared Chug. He'd only had one major, and I had two majors. And the whole story went down where, I explained to him that you're putting with my backup. That's why it is the backup. It comes up one shot shy.
Woods' putting woes continued into early 1999 when he asked Scotty Cameron to design a new putter. Cameron, who had known Woods since the 1980s, knew what to expect.
He has an eye beyond belief of his equipment, but especially putters. He knew what he wanted. It wasn't send you on a wild goose chase.
No detail was too small for Woods, who insisted on putting the sweet spot in the exact center, and for a red sight dot instead of a traditional sight line to be placed on the top of the putter. On the day Cameron needed to ship the putter to Woods, he had met all of his specifications, except one.
I got everything perfect. FedEx picked up at like 4:30. So it's 4 o'clock, I'm up assembling, grip, loft, lie, perfect, swing weight, D4.
Woods wanted a D2 swing weight, not D4. To reduce the weight, Cameron milled a small dot into the back of the putter head and another in the heel of the face. He then filled in both holes with a quick-drying machinist ink called Dyka. The color he chose? Cherry red, Woods' signature color.
Head cover on, in the box, he gets it the next day.
And welcome everyone to Irving, Texas on a picture-perfect day for the opening round of the GTE Byron Nelson Classic.
On May 13, 1999, Woods used his Scotty Cameron Newport 2 putter in competition for the first time. He shot 61, which is still his lowest round on the PGA Tour. Woods then won 7 of his next 10 PGA Tour starts. In 2000,
He's left them in the dark again.
he won 9 times, including 3 straight majors, and finished a career best second in putting average. Over the next decade, when it mattered most, it seemed that Woods and his Scotty Cameron putter rarely, if ever, miss.
Only perfect. He is fully mad.
While that putter caused me a lot of grief from a personal standpoint, the guy was huge when everything was on the line, and that putter was a big part of it.
Woods believes his best effort came on the 72nd hole of the 2000 PGA Championship, when he made a breaking downhill putt to force a playoff. But there were, of course, countless others.
Better than most. How about him? That is better than most. Better than most.
With each success, Woods' putter became increasingly iconic. The pristine German stainless steel, the worn Pingman grip that Woods refused to replace, and those signature 3 red dots.
You see the golden arches of McDonald's worldwide. You know what you're getting. The 3 red dots of Scotty Cameron putters, you know what you're getting too.
Woods has been famously, almost comically, guarded with his putter, once telling his son that it was off limits, even for him.
Daddy only.
I don't blame him. You know, I mean,
I've never had my hands on it, I know that, and I wouldn't.
Woods has good reason to be protective of his putter. Although Cameron has made several backups, he says that none are exact replicas, at least not by Woods' demanding standards.
I don't think anything is identical, especially with his eye. Little things, very picky. Oh.
Like all golfers with their putters, Woods' relationship with his Scotty Cameron has been hot and cold. In 2010, he replaced it with a Nike Method putter, which Woods used for most of the next 6 years. But late in 2018, after experimenting with multiple TaylorMade putters, he returned to his Scotty Cameron again and promptly won his first PGA Tour event in 5 years and 80th overall.
it's funny to see him have putted with different putters, and then to go back and put that back in his hands. It's like, oh, there's his putting stroke again. It's just comfortable.
I've had some good runs with it. I made some good putts with it.
What a great read and a great stroke.
It's also gone through phases where I've had to bench it, you know, and show that, you know, I'm still boss.
How much do you think it's worth?
Yeah, I think the word is priceless.
I always think about what Zach Johnson said about Tiger and his putting. If it needs to be made, it's made. Tiger's won 14 of his 15 majors with that Scotty Cameron.